Guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a Valentine's eyeshadow tutorial for the look that I am wearing here. And we're going to be using a palette that we recently got in Boxycharm. It's the Too Faced Palm Spring Dreams palette. This is a recent release of theirs, so I thought that I would put that to use in the video, as I know a lot of you like when I use products we've gotten in our subscription boxes, since I do share Boxycharm a lot here on my channel. And here's what the inside of the palette looks like, just in case you're curious. So we use the majority of this, but we do end up using two shadows also from another palette, which is by ColourPop. They're Truly Madly Deeply, just because some of the matte shades that we need for our transition were not in the Palm Springs palette, but you could use any similar colors you have, of course, in any other palette. Well, if you're like me, I really love pink tones anyhow, so Valentine's Day just gives me a reason to wear it more. So if you're interested in seeing how I got this look today, then please keep watching. The first step that we're going to do is prime our eyes, and for this I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer. I like to take mine just on a flat concealer type brush. Mine just a little above the crease, so the shades that we put there have primer too. And I like this one because it has a tint to it and it helps cover up some of the discoloration. Now that we have that down, I'm going to go ahead and go into the Palm Springs palette. And I'm going to use the very first shade, Havana Time. And I'm going to put just a little bit of that in the crease so that the shades that we put there don't have any issue blending. For our more transition type shades, since this palette doesn't have really pink tones in it, it has more like brown orangey tones for the mattes. I am going to have to use another palette for just those shades, and I'm going to use the Truly Madly Deeply by ColourPop. And the first shade I'm going to take is Lay Low, which is this light peachy shade here. You don't necessarily have to use this palette. You could of course use any palette you have with a similar shade. I'm just going to take that in and above the crease in windshield wiper motions. We have it down, I'm just going to then go over in circular motions to further blend it here. Because I like this first shade we put on to look pretty blown out. Shade, we're going to go in with the same ColourPop palette in the shade Poodle. Just this nice pink shade here. We're going to just take this directly in the crease. on the top lid for that palette. Now we're going back into our Palm Springs palette, and I'm going to take the dark brown, the BYOB here. I'm going to put that on the outer corner. I'm going to do more of a packing with this one, so I'm going to bring the mirror here just so I can see a little closer up. We have the first part of that dark brown on the outer corner laid down. We're going to go ahead with our shimmer, and for that we're going to use Buzzkill. It's a pretty light pink here on the bottom. I'm going to use just a flat brush, more like a concealer brush I love using with shimmers. I'm going to first go into it with the brush dry, and then what I'm going to do is spray the brush, and I'm just going to use the Tarte Stay Spray. You can use any spray that you have. Then we're going to pack that on. Going on as intense as I want it, so I'm going to try to wet the brush with a few sprays and then go into the shadow and see what happens. Try a finger. It's kind of hard to use your finger when you have nails, but yeah, that worked a lot better. Okay, so found out with this palette it's a lot easier for the shimmers to just use your finger. It comes off a lot more intense when you do that, but to make sure they look the same, I'm going to do the same steps on the other eye, and then I'll go back in with the finger like we did on that one. Laid down. I'm going to go in with a very small blending brush. This one is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH40. Now I really love this because it's hard to find a blender this small. I'm going to take that right above the dark brown that we put on and just slightly blend that. Too, and just tap in between where the brown and the shimmer meets so it's more blended. Got the top part done. I'm going to go ahead onto the bottom lash line, and we're going to take that same dark brown, the BYOB, on a flat liner brush. I'm going to press this just against the outer corner of the lower lash line. it got a little bit of fallout from that dark brown, so I'm going to take this brush that we had used that lighter shade on at first and just slightly brush over that to see if we can get rid of that. And then on the lower lash line, we're going to go back in with that pink poodle here. I'm just going to blend that across the entire lash line. And right below the brown as well. We're going to connect that with the edge here where we had blown out the crease shades earlier. That way they all meet up. Very light peach shade that we first used and go in with that just a little below that pink. So we're just repeating the steps that we did on the top backwards without the glitter. I like to do at the end is just take our very first brush we use for the transition and go over everything just a little. I'm going to put on some mascara and lashes and some black liner in the waterline, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, I am back with everything done on the eyes. I also forgot before I left to do the inner corner highlight, and I just used the same highlight I used for my face, which is in the Cover FX palette. Mine's pretty dirty, but I used the pinkier shade here. And just put that on the inner corner. And then for lashes, I am using these by Baddington Beauty. I got these in a FabFitFun actually. We have gotten them in Boxycharm before too, but these came in my FabFitFun. And I really liked them. I had a little bit of trouble getting them on. It was just one of those days, you know, with lashes. Some days they go on super easy and other days it's a struggle. And today was a struggle for me, but we got them on there. Then I just simply used the Milani Supreme Kohl Kajal eyeliner in black for both the tight line at the top and in my waterline. And mascara, I use the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. But that is it. It was a pretty simple look, not too hard. If you're into the pink tones like I am when it comes to Valentine's Day, it's a look you could do, especially if you are a charmer like me. You should have gotten this palette, and then minus the two other shadows we used, which most people would have laying around. Or even if you don't have a pink shadow, I sometimes will use a blush for the crease colors. So take any blush you have that's a pink shade you like and use it just as an eyeshadow. I've done that several times before, and it does look good too. Kind of gives you that monochromatic moment if you use that same blush for your blush that you're using for the eyeshadow. So that's just a quick tip when it comes to pink shadows. I find myself a lot of times, a lot of palettes don't come with matte pink, so I end up using blush a lot of times, and that's just fine. For lips, in case you're wondering, I'm using the Maybelline Vivid Hot Lacquer, and this one is in the shade Too Cute. So I like, I'm more of a glossy girl, so something like this, I really love these. They have a lot of shades in it because it's very pigmented and it's glossy, but it lasts a very long time and it doesn't have that sticky feeling. And I don't have to reapply it that often. Like a lot of glosses that you would use, you have to reapply quite a bit because they wear off so easily, but these do not. And I really like those. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you haven't already, please hit subscribe before you leave and turn on your notification bell. That way you are notified every time I upload. If there's any other videos you would like to see from me, please leave me a comment below with that as well, and I'll be glad to film those for you. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.